Welcome to Peel Language Development School's online Open Day information session. My name is Dominique Colcott and I'm a member of the Speech Pathology team here at Peel Language Development School. We recently hosted an online Open Day via Zoom due to the current COVID-19 guidelines limiting face-to-face contact. This is a streamlined version of the information discussed. The purpose of this presentation is to give you more information regarding our referral process and to answer some common questions. We hope that you also have a look at our school video so that you may meet some of our staff, including our principal Shelley Collins, and hear more about our learning programs. We are a government-funded school and we run an intervention program for students with a primary language disorder from kindergarten to year 3. Our school is staffed by highly trained teachers, education assistants, speech pathologists, and a school psychologist. Applications to our school are accepted from kindergarten to year 1. Our services are available until the end of year 3, then students transition to their local mainstream school. In 2020, we have 23 classes across 4 school sites. There are 285 students attending PLDS this year. A valuable part of our service to the education community is our statewide speech and language service. Each of the 5 language development facilities across WA have a speech and language service. The PLDS team provide an outreach service to 135 schools across the South Metro, South West and East Kimberley regions. The aim is to strengthen the language expertise available to students and provide greater support to schools and teachers through professional learning models and early intervention programs. To attend a language development school, a referral must be completed. As explained before, we are a government-funded primary school for students who have a primary language disorder. A speech pathologist is the person who diagnoses a language disorder, and so in order to apply for a place at the language development school, your child will need to be assessed by a speech pathologist. Hopefully, if you are watching this information video, then you already have a speech pathologist involved with your child. If you don't, accessing service from a speech pathologist is essential in order for an application to be completed. We are very lucky here in the Peel region to have an amazing group of speech pathologists working in the public and private sectors who are very knowledgeable about our school and about what assessments need to be completed in order to apply for a place at the language development school. Your child's speech pathologist will assess their receptive language, so their understanding of language or their comprehension, and also their expressive language, the way they get their message across. Some children may only experience difficulties with one of these areas, while others will have difficulties with both. Based on the assessments completed, your child's speech pathologist will determine if a language difficulty is present and if an application to our school is appropriate. In addition to the speech pathology assessment, we also require a parent checklist to be completed for children applying for a place with us for kindergarten, and a teacher checklist will also need to be completed for those students applying for a place in pre-primary or in year 1. All school-aged children also require a cognitive assessment as part of their referral to our service. Children with average or above cognitive functioning combined with a language difficulty are eligible to apply. A non-verbally administered assessment is recommended as it measures the child's skills without as much impact from language on it than other types of assessments. Assessments are often completed at the child's school, but it's important to note that it's subject to the procedures at that child's school, including the current workload or caseload or other demands that the school may have. Alternatively, these assessments can be completed privately by a psychologist in the community, and parents can speak to their GP, their teacher, or their speech pathologist for more information. Non-government schools also have access to a psychologist who are able to complete the assessments required for an application. Something else to keep in mind is that an application to our school does not guarantee a place. Each year we need to look at the amount of places that we have available and the number of appropriate applications that we receive. The placement panel usually meets in October to discuss referrals and following this, places are offered. Because at the time of application we cannot guarantee you a place, it is really important that you also enrol your child in your local or preferred school. This is to ensure that they don't miss out on a place at school, especially for those students who will be entering Hindi. If your child is accepted into the language development school, you simply let your local school know that your child will be attending a specialist program instead. Something that we always like to explain to our families is how the speech pathology team here at Peel works, as it's quite different to the way in that speech pathologists in the public and private sectors work. You are most probably used to attending speech pathology sessions with your child in either a one-to-one session or a small group session. Here at the Language Development School, we don't provide any one-to-one therapy. This is because we are not a therapy service provider, we are an educational facility. So if you look at the diagram on the screen, we do not provide any Tier 3 intervention. What we do provide is Tier 2 intervention, so that's small group sessions within the classroom, and we also provide Tier 1 intervention, so whole class instruction. We also spend a great deal of time assisting our teachers to develop language programs, as well as upskilling staff and parents through information sessions. We also complete assessments and help teachers develop individualised programs for all of our students. Sometimes it can feel quite confusing or overwhelming trying to get your head around what oral language actually is and what is the difference between speech and language. So when we're talking about oral language, we are looking at 6 different areas or skills that all come together to help us be competent oral language users. The 6 areas of oral language are comprehension, so that's our understanding of language, and this includes being able to follow instructions and answer questions. Our semantics is our knowledge of words and their meanings. It's essentially our vocabulary. Grammar, so that's the rules of language, how we put our words together to ensure that we're grammatically correct. Pragmatics, being our social use and understanding of language. Oral text or narrative skills, these are our storytelling skills, and this includes being able to recount personal events. And phonological awareness, this is our understanding of sounds, that letters have sounds, we put these together to make words. These are the building blocks for reading and spelling. Speech, on the other hand, is the way that we pronounce our sounds. You may have also heard it being referred to as articulation. If your child has difficulty with their speech or articulation, perhaps they say tat instead of cat, or maybe they have a stutter or have been diagnosed with dyspraxia, this means that they have difficulties with their articulation of speech sounds. That doesn't also mean that they won't also have difficulty with their language skills. A number of our students fit into that middle part of the diagram on your screen, where they experience difficulties with both speech and language. What is important for you to know is that PLDS offers an early intervention service for language. So if your child's primary difficulty or main concern is their speech sound difficulties, then the language school may not be an appropriate placement for your child. Your child's speech pathologist will determine this as part of your assessment. For students who have difficulties with both speech and language, and like I said, we have a number of these students with us, then you may still need to access external support for your child's speech sound development through your public or private speech pathologist if the difficulties are significant. Again, this is because we do not provide any one-to-one therapy here at the language school, and also our core business is working on developing your child's language skills. Your child may need to continue to be supported by an external speech pathologist to help develop their speech skills. So if you receive a letter offering your child a review, please respond and attend the appointment. It's about working together as a team to ensure that your child gets everything that they need. As discussed earlier, we have classes co-located at 4 different school sites. The schools are Rockingham Lakes Primary School, Bungaree Primary School, Mandurah Primary School, and Pinjarra Primary School. The site that you attend is determined by your residential address. This slide lets you know the catchment area for each school. If you have any questions regarding this, please don't hesitate to contact us. As the campus that your child attends at Peel Language Development School may not be your local intake school, you are entitled to a conveyancing allowance or bus service. Applications for the school bus service or conveyancing allowance need to be submitted by the family on the school bus service website upon acceptance to Peel Language Development School to ensure that it is paid for Term 1. It is a door-to-door service for Rockingham Lakes, Mandurah Primary, Bungaree Primary and for parts of Pinjarra. Pinjarra also has Transperth buses, however these are from bus stops and don't have carers on them. During enrolment, staff will be available to help complete the application for the bus service or conveyancing allowance. Peel Language Development School do not determine which students are accepted to the school bus. School bus services determine this based on your address, the number of students they have, and the maximum amount of time that students can travel on the bus. If you have any more questions about transport, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at school. As we are an early intervention program, our program ceases at the end of Year 3, with students returning to their local intake or preferred school to begin Year 4. To assist students and families with this, we have an established transition process in place. In Term 3 of the year that your child is in Year 3, you will be invited to a meeting to discuss the transition process and the role of both Peel Language Development School and yourselves as the family. In Term 4, your child will participate in up to 3 transition visits at their new school. These visits allow our students to establish peer connections and to become familiar with their new environment. The year after your child leaves Peel Language Development School, we will continue to work with your child's new school by providing a thorough handover of information from both our teachers and speech pathologists. This enables your child's strengths and their needs to be continued to be catered for. We are available for phone conferences and face-to-face meetings with the new school to ensure a smooth transition process occurs. Educators at your child's new school will also be able to access professional learning from our statewide speech and language service to strengthen their knowledge and strategies to support children with language and literacy difficulties. As mentioned earlier, make sure that you view our school video located on our website to meet our staff and hear more about our learning programs. We hope that you found this information helpful. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to get in contact with us. Our phone number is 95237830, or alternatively, you can send us an email at peel.lds@education.wa.edu.au.